when love feels distant, understanding the silence. Have you ever found yourself wondering why the person who seems to love you the most suddenly starts ignoring you? It can feel confusing, even painful, but sometimes there's a deeper reason behind this behavior that's far more complex than it appears. In today's video, we'll explore why someone who truly loves you might choose to withdraw or act distant. By the end, you might gain a new understanding of what this behavior really means, and maybe even feel a sense of peace. Sometimes love is complicated. Love isn't always expressed the way we expect. The person who loves you deeply might seem distant, or even appear cold at times. But this doesn't mean they've stopped caring. In fact, their behavior may reveal a depth of feeling that's just waiting to be understood. When someone ignores you, it might be because they're processing emotions too strong to fully grasp right now. Let's dive into a few common reasons why this happens. Fear of vulnerability. One major reason someone might act distant when they love you is the fear of vulnerability. Love makes us feel exposed. It strips away our defenses, and that can be incredibly frightening. For some, showing their true emotions is challenging, and in moments of overwhelming feeling, they pull back to protect themselves from the possibility of pain. This kind of self-protection isn't about caring less, but actually caring so deeply that they're afraid of the hurt that might come if things go wrong. This fear can be so strong that it leads them to choose distance over closeness, to avoid the risks they believe might come with being so emotionally open. Overthinking and insecurity. When someone deeply loves you, they may also become overly conscious of every word and action. Love makes people self-aware, constantly evaluating whether they're being good enough for you. They may second-guess themselves, wondering if they're making the right moves, are saying the right things. This self-doubt often leads to silence. Rather than risking the chance of saying something wrong, they opt to stay quiet. It may feel like they're ignoring you, but often they're fighting internal battles with their own insecurities. They want to be their best for you, and that pressure can sometimes lead them to withdraw temporarily. Feeling overwhelmed. Love at its deepest can be overwhelming. The emotions may be so intense that the person feels the need to step back and process everything. Ignoring you might be their way of taking a moment to reflect on their own feelings and gain clarity on what they want. This isn't about wanting space from you, but rather needing space to handle the flood of emotions. It's almost like a timeout to make sense of the whirlwind within themselves, so they don't get lost in it. It may hurt to feel ignored, but often this distance is a way for them to balance their inner world, not push you away. Fear of seeming too dependent. Some people fear appearing too needy or dependent, even if they're deeply in love. They worry that showing you just how much they want to be with you might come across as clingy. To avoid this, they create a sense of space, even if it means ignoring you, hoping to show you their independence. In truth, they're just trying to keep a balance, often to avoid putting too much pressure on the relationship or overwhelming you with their own affection. Testing your commitment at times. A loved one's distance might be their way of gauging your feelings. It's not a test to punish or confuse you, but more subtle way to understand where you stand. By stepping back, they may be curious to see how much you truly care. Will you reach out to them? Do you miss them as they miss you? This space can be a way for them to see if your love matches theirs, if you're willing to make the same effort. Patience and understanding are key. All of these behaviors, however confusing, come from a place of love and vulnerability. Understanding why someone loves you might choose to act distant requires patience. Love isn't always simple, and people sometimes struggle with how to express feelings that are new, powerful, or even overwhelming. One of the most helpful things you can do in these situations is to communicate openly. If you're feeling hurt by their distance, try expressing it gently. Let them know how their actions affect you. This conversation can open up pathways for both of you to understand each other better and bring you closer to the truth behind their behavior. Remember, silence often speaks volumes. So the next time you feel ignored by someone who loves you, pause before jumping to conclusions. Their silence could be speaking volumes about their feelings and fears. Take a moment to consider what might lie beneath the surface. If you approach them with understanding and openness, you might find that their love for you is deeper than you imagined, more layered than you realized.